Programs Coordinator here at the Kellogg Hubbard Library. And I'm really excited that you're joining us for this Poem City event. I want to quick thank Vermont Humanities for their generous support of Poem City. And I'm really honored tonight to welcome Rajni Edens, a spoken word poet, MC, and teaching artist. Rajni spent over 30 years performing and creating transformative spaces through poetry. His work invites us to challenge injustice, affirm our shared humanity, and build meaningful community rooted in respect and heritage. Rajni.
Thank you very much, Nikki, for that warm introduction. It's an honor to be with you all this afternoon, and I have the esteemed privilege to introduce today's phenomenal poets to bless us with their miraculous word magic. The first artist I have a very special connection with, who I've known for a few years now, witnessed them share in powerful ways in community. They're on their way to being published and sharing their dynamic perspective in ever unfolding important ways. Please give a warm round of applause, and don't stop clapping until she gets to the microphone, for Nadia Frazier.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'm going to share 3 poems with you guys today. And the first one is the opener to my soon-to-be-coming book, and also the poem that kind of got me into writing in the first place. In America, there have been approximately 19 mass shootings every year from 2009 to 2020. In 2024 alone, there were 33 mass shooting incidents, and 144 people died, not including the perpetrators. Why Couldn't It Have Been Me is a poem I wrote to honor all of those who lost their lives in mass shootings, the family of those who died, and those who lived to see one and lived to cause the next. Why couldn't it have been me? At 3 years old, he asked when his papa would come home. At 6, again, he asked what had happened. At 9, he wished he could go back and tell him he didn't want a cake. At 12, he wondered how someone could do such a thing. At 15, he wanted it to be him instead. At 18, he understood. At 21, he stopped wearing hoodies and tried blending in. At 24, he missed him. At 27, he was angry at the one who hurt him. At 30, he couldn't bring himself to simply just be. At 33, he bought a gun. At 36, he loaded it. At 39, he walked into the grocery store where it all began. He pulled his hood up, pulled the piece of metal out of his hoodie pocket, and he aimed for one person and one person only. And he pulled the trigger. Bam! Another bullet from a gun. Thump! Another body on the floor. Sirens, and again the sounds of screams and people rushing to get out. At 42, he sat in a jail cell. At 45, he wished he hadn't done it. At 48, he came to an understanding. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 1 wrong can ruin way more than just 1 life. And that wrong will ripple like a stone dropped in water, ripple onto everyone who ever crossed paths with the one whose blood was spilled. Ripple into the streets where fear grows from those who never once questioned their neighbors. Ripple, ripple, ripple. At 51, he apologized. And although his heart had been forgiven, his mind could not and never would be set free from wondering, why couldn't it have been me? This next poem is a poem I submitted to Poem City in 2023, and it's called Amphibians. It was written during like a 10-minute free write at Fletcher Free Library, and it goes like this. I returned from a rapturous adventure feeling freer than before, heart solid and set on my newfound ascending journey, mind open and clear of what's been, and ready to see what can be. I feel rambunctious. I feel ready to face what's to come, ready to face destiny. Baby steps, they say. It's okay to crawl. So I do. I crawl my way into the forks in the road ahead, making carefully thought out choices, carefully planned movements as not to distract the reptiles. I want to remain hidden, as not to show anyone my true form, To everyone else, I will remain an amphibian. Thank you. This last poem is a more recent one that I've written. I don't really have anything like written ahead of it, but I guess it's kind of about not feeling like you belong. And it's called Her First and Last Breath. You say that I'm not black enough because my skin doesn't match the pavement that we walk on. You say that I'm whitewashed because I don't call you vulgar and offensive names. You say that I don't deserve the title mixed because you don't want to be associated with my kind. You say that I'm not black enough, dark enough, enriched enough to be your friend. What's the point of society moving forward if you're going to jump 3 steps back? I continue on as though your words don't hurt me. You can't see my scars because they blend into what you peg as worthless. I'd still get shot if they got the chance. I'd still be enslaved if we lived on entranced. My blood would be red on the ground and blue in my veins, like yours, like hers, like all those who claim we're different. If we're so different, then why do I bleed like you do? If we're so different, then why do I dream of living in America free like you do? If I'm so strange, so twisted, and not from your neck of the woods, then why do I cry at stories about another shooting in the hood? Why do you care? It's your people who did this, you say. My people? My people did this? My people took the last breath from an innocent child's lips, sucked it out from her lungs, and breathed it out into the open air. Her last breath, her mother's first fear, dangling around because no one ever cared. The people I get my blood from across the great waters of our earth. Europe, Scotland, Africa, for worse and for worse. My people did this? Here's a hot new take. You were part of this too. You sat there and watched as if her life didn't matter to you. She's not your people, so why should you care? She was set to die, to be killed, shot, murdered, from the very day the pink strip appeared. The day her mother looked down at her trembling baby hands as she breathed her first breath. Oh, why, God? Why must you give her to me? Thank you.
Let's hear another warm hand of applause for Sister Nadia Frazier. The next poet I'm going to introduce to you is a phenomenal poet I had the blessing to meet recently at the Black Experience extended programming we had over at Winooski Schools. Please give a warm round of applause for Brother Nick Ferdinand.
Disclaimer, my poems don't correlate with each other. They're very different and cover different things. The first poem is called Fear, and it's the fear of men reaching out and talking to people. Fear. I'm strong and brave, but not strong enough to free these emotions piled and conserved inside of me. Beneath the surface, tears and feelings that I can't understand. My heart is tired. I'm struggling to keep command. Behind the strong and manly mask, a scared little boy with a question he's afraid to ask. Dad, is it okay to cry? I wonder why tears are so foreign to my eyes, as if they were forbidden, hidden under a disguise. My father, a stoic figure, I've never seen him shed a tear. In his emotional unavailability, I learned the lies that all men know. Strength is hiding emotions, let nobody in, and never, ever being vulnerable. But in moments of solitude, when no one is around, I feel the weight of the expectations to suppress my emotions crushing my shoulders, wondering how long I have to hold on. As I grow up, I start to question, if strength is determined by how well we can hold it in, or is strength embracing vulnerability? Is that where the true courage begins? Amidst all these thoughts, my father's silent teaching echoes in my mind, they leave me confined. But maybe, just maybe, I'll break the mold, learn to allow my emotions to unfold, learn that strength isn't found in never showing pain, but in showing it and rising again. But tonight, at 12 years old, I sit and ponder in the stillness of the night. I answer my own question. It can't be okay to cry. My father never did. This is a poem I wrote about this ignorant person that I was just protesting, embracing Black pride, and he said, "How come you guys have Black pride, but we can't have white pride?" So I wrote this poem in answer to question him, to answer his question. Why can't we have white pride? You ask, why can't we have white pride? As if pride has no past, no pain behind it. As if it's just colors in a flag. But see, Black pride was not born from power. It rose from the ashes of whips and chains, from names stripped away, from scriptures told that you are less. Black pride is not about being better. It's about surviving what was built to break us. It's a whisper turned to a war. I am human. I am worthy. Because the world said otherwise for far too long. White pride. Pride in what? The world was already shaped in your favor. No laws ever said you couldn't read, couldn't vote, couldn't sit, couldn't breathe, couldn't live. You were never told your skin was a threat, never followed in the store, never feared for flashing lights, and you were never followed behind your car in the night. So no, you don't need white pride, because pride for us was never about being on top, just about being allowed, just about allowed to breathe, live, and read, and allowed to stand. Thank you. This one's called Sometimes Justice is Just Is, because that's just what it is. Sometimes justice is just is, like Emmett Till beaten for a lie, face turned to a morning sun that still echoes. Sometimes justice is just is, like Breonna Taylor sleeping and never waking, because no knock means no justice. And sometimes justice is just is, like George Floyd calling for his mother, while needs prove louder than law. Sometimes justice is just is, when Khalif Browder lost 3 years to a cage, not for guilt, but of the cost of being Black and poor. And sometimes justice is just is, like Stranger Bland pulled over for a signal, but punished for her presence. And sometimes justice is just is, like Trayvon Martin, hoodies on, snack in hand, life stolen by suspicion. Sometimes justice is just is, when Tamir Rice, just 12, was even given a second to explain his play. And sometimes justice is just is, when Malcolm and Martin gave us dreams and still met bullets before justice ever did. And sometimes justice is just is, when Mumia Abdul-Jamal wrote books from a cell, but his truth still rots behind bars. And sometimes justice is just is, like Anita Young, naked in her home, cops breaking in with no apology, no shame. And sometimes, in our country, justice is just is, when they say get over it, but we still bury sons and daughters with no answer. And sometimes, justice is just is, because justice got tired of knocking on doors that only open for some. And sometimes, just sometimes, justice is just is, but still we march, still we chant names so the world won't forget, still we turn pain into protest and soar into sound. Sometimes, justice is just is. This one's called Masculinity. In the tapestry of societal norms, I'm moving tight, bound by rules dedicating what is right or wrong. Since childhood, I've been learning the rules of the game of masculinity. A man is supposed to be rough and tough. I don't quite agree with that. I guess that means I'm not man enough. Men can go to the nail salon, men don't wear paint, and those who do are shamed, as if these simple choices could cause my manhood to be waned. Am I not man enough because I care for my skin? Am I not man enough because I enjoy long showers? Am I not man enough because I enjoy long showers? My father's voice echoes, questioning my ways. Real men don't fuss over appearances. When I look into the mirror, I don't see weakness. I see pride. In my skincare routine, I found solace, but the silence whispers grow louder, question if I'm good enough. Does my grooming habits define my masculinity's worth? I refuse to be shackled by society's shame. I refuse to conform to ideals that only bring pain. I refuse to be someone I'm not. I learned that masculinity is not a plane or confined to a mold, but free, a spectrum of colors, vibrant and bold. So I get my manicure and pedicure because in my masculinity, I'm not insecure. I spend hours in the bathroom caring for myself without shame or guilt, and embracing myself. I find strength and confidence that society will never be able to unbuild. In a society that always trying to confine and define, I break free and be different, and my authenticity will shine because my masculinity knows no bounds. I found courage in defying and deafening societal sound. So I'll do me and I'll thrive. For in accepting my truth, I found my masculinity. I'm a man of substance. I'm a man of depth. I'm a man of grace. I'm a man defying expectations with every step I take. For my last poem, I'll try to end on a positive note. This is a tribute to Black women. They're Black women. You are the most overlooked, the most disrespected, and you remain the strongest, the most beautiful, the most courageous. History has trampled on your name, tried to erase your essence, but in the depths of struggle, you have always risen. You're not just a survivor, you are a force, a quiet stone that shapes the world. That maybe don't want to give you the praise you deserve. For every sacrifice you've made, for every burden carried, for every battle fought in silence, let me speak your word. Let me remind you of your power. Your hair, whether in braids, locks, or an afro, is a crown, one with pride. Each curl, each twist, each coil, a symbol of resilience, of heritage unbroken. You wear your beauty effortlessly, whether in bell bottoms, Jordans, or hoop earrings, you are radiant without trying. You are seen even when the world chose not to look. But brothers, oh brothers, you have mistreated our queens and failed to recognize the depth of their spirit. There is nothing more sacred than the Black woman. No one holds you like she does. No one loves you like she can. I have a Black woman. Her kisses are like shea and cocoa butter, soft yet powerful, nurturing yet firm. She is the embodiment of warmth, of earth and sky, of history and future. So let me shower you with the respect you long earned. Let me honor your strength and reflect on the love you give without hesitation, for you are more than the world has ever acknowledged. And I'm blessed with the beauty of depth of your soul. Thank you, Black women.
Following the beautiful French speech and tradition.
That's right, that's right. Hey, Joe, let's hear it one more time for Brother Nick Ferdinand. Mr. Norris. All right, it's my privilege to introduce another fabulous poet we've had the good fortune to meet in recent times. She's represented Brave New Voices and in Connecticut team. She has a powerful way with words and a beautiful contribution to make to this world in the light that she is. Please give a warm round of applause for Sister Anna Capel.
Hi everyone, I'm so grateful to be here. The first poem that I'll be reading is called Your Fault. Have you seen a blue jay dance through the wind? Have you watched blades of grass get to rocking? Or a strider in the water he skims ever heard fleeting dragonflies talking? What about the susurration of wheat? Why have you not let the wind kiss your neck? Escape your prison and arrive complete. There are intricacies that nature reflects. The trees do not conquer or kill or fuss. Listen to lily pads and their mystique. Don't you know they have to listen to us? Please watch the worms look down the blue jay's beak. So you lose a thing and then your love swarms. You did not appreciate the earthworm. The earth is dying. The economy, the stocks, make money, refund the cops, work, get a job, and once you do, never stop. The earth is dying. Get up, bootstraps, drill, baby, drill. I think you mean kill, baby, kill. Elon Musk, ChatGPT, I don't care who I'm stepping on, more money for me. The earth is dying. Our War Paris Agreement, production and consumption, it has to be faster and faster, more things to look at, more things to buy. Who cares if a malnourished child bled on your shirt? At least it was delivered to you in one day, one day. One day, I dream that humanity will wake up. I dream that those in power will care to give back to the very world that fostered them, the very air they breathe, the very water they drink, the very grass they walk in, the very wood they burn, the very animals they eat, the very flowers they pick. Nature was never meant to be seen in terms of profit maximization. We were given the gift of the world and responded with obliteration. It is the very trees that make the paper you've elected ruler. How can you not see you are worshiping the wrong green? This industrialization will never lead to salvation. We are the ones destroying creation, and when it's gone, there will be nothing left to rectify. There will be no one left to hear your guilt and crying. Because of you, the earth is dying. Okay, my second one is called Copper Captivity. Have you ever studied a penny? Ran it round and up and down across your fingertips? In God we trust. Whose God? Surely not the black girls, surely not the ones with curls. Lincoln is credited for freeing slaves, but this is the same man that said, I am not nor ever have been in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. But still he travels through hands, pockets, and many places. He opposed interracial marriages. These words coming out of my biracial mouth would be a slap across his face, so why is he still the face of my coin? Liberty, 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 these three syllables sound like mocking because my great-great-grandparents weren't free. In front of the white man's throat is printed 2003. If only he knew that 17 years later, a man would clasp his filthy hands on the neck of his so-called brother. From sea to shining sea, but the only thing George got to see was the devil through the eyes of the police. But Officer Lane could see and see and see and watch Floyd until his eyes no longer shined. We the people, who's we, what determines a person, perfect union, justice, tranquility. We're screamed at for not being tranquil, but maybe we know justice shouldn't have to be fought for, caught for, shot for, brought forth, fighting because there never should have been a war. My grandfather had to walk 6 miles to school every day. They only got a bus once it became the white man's garbage, and then every white man refused to drive it, not even for a bargain. Posted on the back of the penny, 1 cent, 1 cent, 1 cent. All it took was 1 cent for the dogs to come pounding after runaway slaves, and they hunted and hunted until they watched blood cascade, red, white, and blue, an African American's nightmare. Oh, say, can you see what I can see? And I can see the slaves working in dawn's early light, and there's no more gleam in their eyes with broad stripes on their backs and stars surrounding the mines, and the children of the house watching the slaves who are gallantly screaming. Their pain pierces the air like red rockets bursting, and the few that escape in the night give proof of hope. But when they see the flag still there, waving, screaming in their face that they will never be free and have little to no chance at being brave, they remind you that America was never created to fit them. We are taught to throw pennies in fountains to make wishes. How come mine still haven't come true? I wish I could write without being a showcase of black talent. I wish I could properly speak without someone saying, wow, did you know black girls can speak? I wish I could dance without being a black girl dancing. I wish we could burst suns and not threats. I wish we could hold wallets and not pistols. I wish our people could have sung songs that weren't escape routes. I wish I were a student before a showcase of diversity. I wish people would care to listen to my poems in months that aren't February. I wish. Tell me how Martin had a dream, but we are still left wishing. I want so badly to write about freedom, but we must experience it first. A penny has never been a showcase of freedom to me. Pennies may not be for us to wish for, but why should that stop us from wishing? We should dream up something so big the only sound is inequality squishing. I dream of never having to be pleasantly surprised by diversity. I dream of a world where we call back our freedom and overcome adversity. I dream of black doctors and professors and musicians and no oppressors. I dream of not begging people to listen. I dream of black literature. I dream of black science fiction. I dream of black art and writing. I dream of black opinions that aren't men's. I dream that our light will shine so bright it cracks the white man's lens. I dream that we can move past historical events because who are we pretending we're still colonists? I want my daughter to know that princesses can have melanin without turning into frogs. I want our culture to beam in everyday dialogues. Octavia Butler, Jimi Hendrix, Phyllis Wheatley, Erykah Badu, Toni Morrison, Sun Ra. I dream of people knowing our diaspora, because love we are a master of, and our arts and voices were never meant to be contained in Africa. I want my children to be born with a sense of liberation. I want them to know a world not centered by Caucasians. Afrofuturism. It's more than a word, it's a movement. It's the freeing of oneself in a dream inducement. We must never cease to dream. We must dance among the flames. We must each acknowledge our blame. We must be the flowers growing in sidewalk cracks. We must never let love be what we lack. We must fall in love with our city. We must become the hopeful committee. We must feed our children's aspirations. We must give their hopes foundations. We must show the earth persistence. We must study coexistence. We cannot simply throw a penny in a fountain. We must carve the whole world with our wishes. Okay, this is my last one, and it's called Soul Slam. I stare at my reflection. 1, 2, the eyes I used to keep in a glass cage. 3, the nose I used to think resembled a snout. 4, the lips that only knew how to taste the salt of my own tears. 5, the nails I dug into my palms. 6, the skin I ruined. I fled into transformation. First it was contacts, then clothes, then companions. I used to see friends as floating dust fibers, something fleeting. Change was a dinner course that I craved, chomped, and consumed, twisting and twisting myself, a psychopathic child to a jack-in-the-box. Me and mirrors were enemies turned lovers. I have played the game of skipping on the glass shards my reflection broke. Now the only things I care about fixing are that which no one can see. My internal is eternal, my gesture is my journal, that spoon feeds me truth like sugar, that sometimes tastes like hemlock. There is nothing sweeter than my solitude. They say tend to your garden, and tending is much more than shoving flowers into the ground. It takes a seed that you water and nurture in the sunlight. It takes pulling and weeding and hands lathered in dirt. That is when it grows. You cannot simply demand flowers to sprout. You cannot simply force a garden into beauty. My energy is my ecstasy, and I craft, cultivate, and cherish it. I want my presence to be felt and my being to bathe others in their own bliss. I hope to be sensed, not seen. I wish to be the light that demands authenticity, to be my own kind of mysticity, an endless cup that prays, pours, pushes love. Love, 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 love. Give yourself a little, give she, he, them a little, sprinkle it in your neighbor's coffee, whistle it down the street to strangers, hug it to your mama, whisper it to the wind, say go in, and then your mind will spin, and you'll begin to grin. You'll be glowing from your chin to space, take your mirrors and break insecurities, erase. Real ones know there's no reward in the chase. Be chaste of self-hate and bloom and burst with self-worth and make healing out of hurt, wine out of blood, a gem out of a dud. Take the time to untangle the string and truth will ring and your soul will sing. Something way more valuable than that bling bling shit they wear on their necks. So heavy they imprison their body when the whole point is to fly, to fuck the material and praise the ethereal and focus on the spiritual. Your appearance isn't any more than a glove for the soul, a sock for a foot, a soup bowl, and when you focus on the ingredients you put in, that's when you'll glow and it will show and your soul will go, go, go. Places of which there's no molds, people you never knew you could hold, warmth while surrounded by cold. The only real beauty is the soul. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for Anna Capel. Make some noise. As a matter of fact, give it up for all the fine poets you've heard thus far. This is Larry Fraser, Lee Ferdinand. Blessings, blessings. It's an honor to hold space and share with you for Poem City at a critical time in our nation and this world's history where it's so important and valuable for us to share story, to empower and inspire and uplift and encourage and nurture. So many of our precious histories are being banned and repressed and undermined, attempts to keep us from recognizing the value of our shared humanity from Africa to the present. So it's hugely important that we don't underestimate the value of sharing story and sharing poignant creativity that can touch people's hearts in vibrant ways. So let's give one more round of applause for these youth poets. I know what that feels like to be a young poet. I was poured into as a young poet myself. My mother was the founder of the African American Writers Alliance, and she used to always have me read her poems to her, whether I wanted to or not. With feeling, she would say it's very important to read it with feeling. So I think I learned from those urgings and those continuous exposures to really value the power of words to touch people's hearts and minds in dynamic ways. So I want to honor her this day for being such a foundational component of representing that in my life and seeing it continue to flower in community. So this is a poem by her that was created shortly after 9/11. It's called "I'd Like There to Be a War Where Nobody Came." It's call and response, so when you know it, please sing along. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. Where the gunners didn't show and the flyers didn't flow, like a river carrying death to those below. Where artillery moved too slow, missed the boat and the whole dang show. And we all refused to go, I said, we all refused to go. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. Where the infantry said no, in clipped tones the taste of snow. And the bombers stated clear, they won't come in any year. And sharpshooters closed their eyes, much to the brass' great surprise. And there was peace with no reprise. We chose the peace with no reprise. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. Where we first would check ourselves, see what our causes do foretell, tweak what tweaking would do well, then maybe check ourselves again. Remembering some crazy macho in does not signify a win, cannot signify a win. So I'll say it once again. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. I'd like there to be a war where nobody came. We'd like there to be a war where nobody came. Wouldn't you? Give it up for yourself. That was a dynamic shift. I had to tell my mom about it. That's the first time people picked it up and started singing the whole thing. I was like, okay, the world is learning. All right, I'm gonna share a couple more pieces before we close out, but I just really wanna thank Kellogg Hubbard Library and Poem City for holding space for this really heart-rendering and consciousness-raising vulnerable sharing. The world needs much more of it. So I'm gonna share another piece with you. This is actually a piece that is I wrote recently from a writing prompt I was sharing with Anna earlier. We do a weekly writing and sharing circle for Black, Indigenous, and Global Majority called Word. So I'm gonna say word. Word. Facts. And it happens every Monday from 7 to 9, so we give each other generally new free writes. And this is the free write that came up this past week. It's called What History Cannot Hold. And the prompt is, in case you want to write to it later, what are the stories too big for history to hold? Where do these stories go to be told, and who are the keepers of them? Who and what determines what can be held by history, and what will history make of this day tomorrow? This history can't be sandwiched twixt some white bread, told it can't be simply because it is. Too immense, for thin slices. For those loafing would prefer we had crumbs and leftovers than to know we always been the breadbasket of the world, the fruit of our inventions spanning millennia. A good sign you are powerful is people rolling with tanks to walk your single solitary self to school. People yelling out their mind, immortalized and ugly, to keep you from accessing your own mind. People so afraid you'll find out you the first people. They climbing over theyself to put their own hands over their own eyes and tell you day is night. But no, day is still day, and we is still we, isn't we? I'm going to share another piece with you. This is a piece that actually came from a dream I had about zombies. I was running with my mother at the top of the parking garage, and we were cornered. I was like, oh my God, this is outrageous. And I woke up like, are we alive? Okay. But this poem kind of arose from that, because I thought about that metaphor of zombies, how it can be applied to the lack of consciousness of people, or applied to the blind, cult-like following of warped identities or perceptions. So that's kind of how this poem came to be. It's called My Mother and I Have Survived Several Zombie Apocalypses. My mother and I have survived several zombie apocalypses. The first was when black people were fed little white crack rocks to deprive them of their humanity in the hardened eyes of a world that had never believed they had any. It worked for a time, and I saw her breathe life into the life-aged eyes of toddlers, bringing an anti-serum to my cousins who could have certainly become the brain-infected parasites so many already believe us to be. Or maybe that was not the first time. The first time was with me. You see, as a toddler, I had seen the glazed, hungry eyes of adults before, both family members, one hungry for the chemical inhale of instant high that always needed more substance to produce less substance. Each time, the other was sexual, foisting higher pressures on young shoulders and a child's mind than I thought I would ever be able to speak in poetry or aloud. You see, I was traded by zombies, a barter in flesh for drugs. To one, I was the means to obtain. To the other, I was the drug. Zombies. Zombies. Somehow I placed these black and white memories of devouring safely outside the realm of childhood, because I had a great one. I do think, too, maybe the eyes of well-meaning strangers in sympathetic hunger begin to look malevolent under the light of a world so addicted to and hungry for, expectant of our tragedy. Zombies. Zombies. What does a world look like with no white people? The strange part is that it will take those who formerly wore the title proudly or unassumingly slick, both sick, to make it so. Zombies. Zombies. My mother tells me that as a child she watched Night of the Living Dead, the black and white one. She had to be carried out well before the black protagonist was killed by the uninfected white zombies. It seems they too thought he was the zombie. They too suffered from an addiction, albeit to black flesh and black death. Although way before my time, this all seems too familiar. Zombies. The second or third time my mother and I survived a zombie apocalypse was here. You see, they were trying to devour my mind. This often happens if a black man speaks it. One's own genitals in the mouth are replaced with accusations that you do that to children. Call it New Age lynching, where in former days you could do away with the body publicly. This way, the reputation is eaten first, and the victim must do away with their own remains. Too many nights I found myself almost eaten alive. It was the stares, the random indictments and persecutions, nibbling away till my bones were just about bare. See, all zombies need to know is that you're alive. The stink of rotten skin and the walking, decomposing carcass makes them immune to each other's scent, till they smell very acutely when fresh meat is near. But fortunately for my mother and I, we could not abide by my daughters hearing wrongly that we had become the undead, sacrificed to stories made by the very flesh-eating corpses themselves. Somehow, we breathed enough life and love into each other to not become the staggering brain-starved hordes ourselves. We had to live. There were younger ones the world had not yet turned, and we would see they never would. The next time is now, and maybe you're familiar. We must all be eternally vigilant of the glazing of our eyes, the sudden craving for bloodthirsty cruelty and less than compassion. The pathogen is airborne, and only love can immunize us. Thank you very much. I'm going to close with two pieces. This is from a free write called My Black Is. My black is, snatch your roots and give them back to you. Donny Hathaway and Layla Hathaway notes, bottom of the pot when you thought there was nothing left, simply put, everything. Never ending, a seed in the essence of life. Glory on high, underground, mainstream, and backed by popular demand. It's churning something vibrant, opening inner channels to ancestors rising in the most unlikely, unexpected, unsuspecting places and spaces, creating soulful melodies in cafes with only one or two maybe black faces in sight. It's a majority of right when you're the only one. It's grandma's mouth-watering biscuits, taste that can only be satisfied with memories. This black is ours. It don't fit in and fits perfectly. It got its own fingerprint, melanated whirls and loops, picture perfect. More unique than snowflakes, my black is fantastic, phenomenal, rejuvenating, ritually, habitually, marvelously magical. Be quoting Malcolm at board meetings. Smack the taste out and back into your mouth. Teach you about flavor, give flavor to your choices. My black don't care to explain itself. Says diversity is white people's code word for niggers in board meetings and school assemblies, and means it. Can sing your pride and dignity back to life. Has love affairs with visions yet to be realized. Wants to welcome you into your most beautiful, brilliant, abundant, abundantly glowing realization of yourself. My black is all caps and no cap. Shows you the keys to the kingdom. Have always been in your heart. Dances to Luther with pigtails swinging, survived slavery and red summers and the crack epidemic and whatever they throw at us next. My black is reading his baby stories that will nourish them for lifetimes to come. My black is listening to My Black Is on repeat, playing palimpsest-like from the Akashic records. My black is infinite, tender, fragile, and invincible. And at the same time, just don't give a fuck. My black is laser sharp. We'll find the nearest melanated being in a radius of 10 billion light years. Sniff them out like a bloodhound with the opposite intentions. My black is about blood, brings new positive connotation to the term bloodthirst. It might make one want to be united with one. My black says God provides, proves it with his very essence. Been in us so long it don't quite fit. My black is a warrior, an emissary of peace and eternal faith. Knows justice like the back of its hand, knows injustice like the back of yours. Can make and remake the world again. Already has. My blackness speaks every language. It's loudest in silence. Births new universes daily. Don't have to make sense. Don't want to. It's too big to stereotype. Too big for the word God, has more words for divine than any language can contain, is made of your childhood strung like beads on a rosary, made of African liberation, has Heru, heroic son of truth tendencies, sings Africa unite loud as fuck in a snowstorm, till the seasons change by sheer dint of will and self-determination. My black is ours, we's, people's, black, glorious and free, and calling your name loud and proud and don't care who's around, don't care if nobody hears, long as you do, and it moves you, your whole body, your whole soul, your being, to meet up here where we are, outside and somehow deep, deep inside, deeper than anybody could ever go. My black is a 10-minute D'Angelo song, prophesying prophets that grant more than prophets, prosperity, a self-awakened clarity. Thank you very much. I'm gonna close out with a tried and true jam. This has become a historical clarion call. We'll be doing this to tell us a worldwide refrain. This is called Beautiful Sun-Kissed People. All right, so when I say it, you know what to do. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people. Beautiful sun-kissed people. Walking miracles, unfolding parables, ancient scrolls and ocean's throes. Love be a rose adorning your ears. This morning will not bring mourning nor a thorn in tears. This forever moment is shoring up fears. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people. Beautiful sun-kissed people. We are on the cusp of overthrowing overseers. Light years beyond heckles and jeers. No more tanning our hides where Dr. Jekyll steers. This love is sheer, transparent and near, as dear as your closest relatives here. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people. Beautiful sun-kissed people. No conversation on us being equal, just entertaining the thought is evil. We weave full, fully woven, lost and found, traded and stolen, but look what the eye beholding. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people. Beautiful sun-kissed people. Golden, black and free and ebony, mahogany and mocha bee, chocolate Haagen-Dazs can't see. Rivers running melanin. Shallow men be monitoring, but most I got it all intents and purposes in sovereign skin. Watch as this here poem ascends, journeying and frolicking. Summer breezes talking with the autumn wind, how winter just won't break our stride. Too much spring in step for us to hide. Our victory is justified. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people. Beautiful sun-kissed people. Soul arrives with older ties, our currency ain't tokenized. We close to those focused and wise, whose feet arise on open skies. We white supremacy eulogizing, blessed ministry, new horizon, and desperate attempts at euphemizing our brilliance and futile lies still will never neutralize. Too many youth been euthanized. Fed sweet as prey to truth decay, but truthfully our rueful way has truth to say, adorns the night to loose the day, in beauty that the stars obey. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people. Beautiful sun-kissed people. And I relate to you so musically, and oh, the joy it brings. Like, please stand and place your hand on your heart. Lift every voice and sing, tell earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Beautiful. Let earth and heaven ring in sacred oath, 'cause after all we are betrothed to wondrous wonders of untold, great grand good fortune that broke the mold. Can't buy us off with moldy bread. We've more than crumbs inside our heads, and crust just will not satisfy. When banquets alone are ours divine, We walking gourmet grandma made. Deliciousness in every shade. Say sun-kissed people.
Sun-kissed people.
Say beautiful, blessed, bountiful, sun-kissed people.
Beautiful, blessed, bountiful, sun-kissed people.
All right. I praise the path that plants our flag squarely in earth, a self-made basking. A glorious newfound approach that predators cannot encroach. That parasites and wayward folks at a mere glimpse will cough and choke. See, this radiance is brighter still than every sun that lights a hill. It calls from something deep within and pours from vocal cords and pen. Say, beautiful sun-kissed people.
Beautiful, sun-kissed people.
I'm nourished just to see you. You furnish my living room with life-abundant killing gloom. You water every plant I have and flourish my gardens green and vast. Sing lullabies to my inner child and soothe our fears of foul defile. You spray me with your sense of grace and lovingly embrace my face. Say, I am you and we are race that founded every human trace. Say, sun-kissed people.
Sun-kissed people.
I wake with your poems on my tongue. In my chest I hear your drum. From my lips I hear your hum. It gets me high and drunk as rum. On you I'm forever spun. Your melanin I'll never shun. Your melanin I'll never shun. Your melanin I'll never shun. That's right. With you I am forever one. Has there been better? Never one. Say, sun-kissed people.
Sun-kissed people.
I bequeath these odes to you, your next of kin and children too, and their children's 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 view will yet still match your vibrant hue. You supernatural sorcery, to walk in temples gorgeously, shame in cathedrals far and near, make a white Christ pale in the mirror. Sun-kissed children, you are it. Don't let nobody tell you shh, unless they fertilize the soil, to grow a rose regal and royal, to don a rose upon a rose, of red and black and green and gold, so poetically bestowed, it dignifies your inner throne. Sun-kissed children, marvelous, miraculous magnificence, outlandishly so unabashed, unapologetic sass, ultra-magnetic blackness, the right goddess on your epitaph. That's blasphemy, surely, right? Because we know true gods never die. Sun-kissed children, you kiss my eyes with all that sunshine you applying. I say I'm in love for true, because you are me and I am you. From head to toe and all between, I love these princes, kings, and queens. I even find you in my dreams. And when I wake, I vow to breathe in, and breathe the vow, breathe out. With every vowel and consonant I can pronounce. Announce the cosmos all your feats. Build castles for your sweet retreats. Whose feather pillows, black satin sheets. A sacred lounge to rest your crown. From all them wounds been crying out. Sun-kissed people have no doubt. You're all I am, what I'm about. Can't tell my story without your page. Every chapter be erased. You sew my lines so seamlessly. We vibe on higher frequency. So let's not love in secrecy. My sun-kissed people, we be's the key. Thank you very much.